Blessings, everybody. Here I am again sharing a very interesting vision that I received from Christ Himself, showing me Himself in the heavenlies. Now, this vision may take a little bit of time for me to explain, so excuse me if I'm a little bit long-winded. But anyhow, this is what I'm shown. I'm shown Jesus sitting on His heavenly throne made out of gold and red. He is wearing his papal crown like the crowns the popes wear on earth or have worn on earth. And then there's 12 sons of God standing around him. Now, these 12 sons of God, or 12 Elohim, are high-ranking sons of God who are his convening intimate divine counsel for the affairs of man. The fact that they are 12 is significant because 12 is the number of government, 12 is a number of tribes in Israel, and 12 is a number of apostles that reached out to the whole world. So this intimate divine counsel of Christ helps him rule Israel and the rest of the world. So as we move into the end times, this counsel plays a role in determining what's going to happen to mankind. Now, I was then shown Jesus not on the throne. I was shown his throne in detail. The gold, his throne is made out of solid gold, and that represents Jesus as man divine, ruling through all his divine nature, given authority and glory. And then the blood red seat, Jesus is resting on the finished work of his passion to rule all of creation. So his passion plays a big role in the way he determines his rulings onto mankind. And then the cross at the top on the tiara represents Jesus' authority as man divine over all, as found in the power of his cross. Okay? So this vision is a mystery because Satan, man, and devils involved in killing him during his passion were actually exalting him and empowering him as man to be king over all, as we see here. In the passion, he was earning an exceeding great reward as man divine. So Jesus' coronation and empowerment was made via the passion, which is not the way man or devil thinks. So what appeared as total defeat was actually the opposite. God turned the wisdom of carnal man and Satan totally upside down. So in essence, Satan was giving Jesus what Satan himself rebelled to want to be, that is, above every ruler, authority, power, and lordship. So essentially, by the act that Satan was involved in his crucifixion, he was actually giving the very thing that he offered Jesus before in the wilderness. And he didn't even know he was doing that. So in Matthew 28:18, it says, all authority to rule in heaven and on earth has been given to Christ. In the book of Micah, Jesus and his divine counsel for ruling is seen in the scriptures. In Jeremiah 23:22, it reveals that the divine counsel get together to deliberate over the evil ways and deeds of nations. And also in Daniel 4, we read that God is working with a divine council of spirit beings to make and enforce decrees over creation. Psalm 89 speaks of God's divine counsel, and verse 7 states that his counsel is all around him, as we see here in the heavenly vision. The book of Revelation also exposes Jesus and his divine counsel workings. In 1 Kings 22:19, Yahweh is sitting on his throne while his host of heaven are standing around him. And that's what I saw here. I saw his intimate divine counsel standing around him. I think the reason why the Lord gave me this vision to me was so that I understood who it was that I'm relating to or praying to. For this is the actual Jesus at the moment. And also because as prophet, I am supposed to stand in the counsel of the Lord when he calls me to see and hear his word. And that's taught in the book of Jeremiah. So lastly, I want to explain Jesus' triple papal crown again. The base crown, that is, the base of the crown means he's king over the earth. The middle of the crown means he's king over the kings, that is, rulers and their kingdoms, that is, man and Satan. And the cresting crown means he's king over heaven. And the cross at the top of the tiara speaks of the basis for his authority as man divine over all of creation. So that scripture is true about Jesus having given all authority in heaven and on earth. He is supreme ruler. Great person to be connected to, right? Because he determines the outcomes with his divine counsel as to what's going to happen. It's also interesting to note that Jesus doesn't like to rule by himself. So he's not a tyrant. He likes to invite his creatures to help govern his created universe. And as an aside note, your guardian angel goes to heaven and does a powwow with Jesus, and they discuss what they're going to do with you also, by the way. So you've been discussed in heaven as well. So every important ruler on earth gets processed through this governing body. Okay, bye-bye everybody. Until next time, God bless.